Okay, so the Samsung Galaxy Tab S7 Plus versus the all-new Apple iPad Pro Mini LED, the 12.9 inches version. Yeah, I know, some of you don't like this type of battle, but here we go again. Let's jump in. And before we go ahead and start off with a nice refresher of what we're dealing with in terms of design of these two kings of productivity, let me just tell you that this guy here, the iPad Pro Mini LED, is going to run you $1,100 for the base one. And this guy here, the Galaxy Tab S7 Plus, is going to run you $850 for the base version. Now let's get back to design here. The Tab S7 Plus is the best tablet offered on the Android platform, not only in terms of performance, but also in terms of design. Now, I do understand that when it comes down to design, that is pretty subjective, right? But still, no one can really deny that this guy here is a pretty dope, pretty cool looking tablet, right? You have that very pronounced rectangular shape there. You have the thin bezels on the face there. You have the selfie camera on the back there. You have the dual camera setup, and of course the S Pen pad on the back there. You have quad speaker setup. Sound really good. These are tuned by AKG and they sound very good. You have the usual suspect with the power volume rocker. Of course, we have the pins for the keyboard. So of course it has an official Samsung keyboard to go with it. You have a USB Type-C port here. Very good, fast data transfer. And last and most importantly, well, one of the most important things here is you have the micro SD card slot for this guy here, for you to be able to expand that internal storage. And the icing here is that metallic rim around the tablet that gives it a more premium look. It's a very sleek and beautiful design in that mystic black, along with that wide 12.4 inch display, which for some people can still be handled with one hand, right? On the other hand, of course, you have the iPad Pro 12.9 inches. You have that very popular and very familiar face of the iPad Pro, and we all know why, right? Because last year's version looked just like this guy. You have the thin bezels there, but that doesn't change the fact that it's still a pretty sleek looking tablet. Also, again, here you find a uniform bezel around the face ID sensors at the top there, along with the selfie camera right next to it, and the dual camera module on the back of the tablet. Then of course we have the usual suspects, so the power button, the volume rocker, the Apple Pencil 2 pad right there to attach your Apple Pencil. You also have quad speaker setup here, and they sound very loud. Stereo speaker that sound pretty good also, and you have a Thunderbolt port at the bottom here. It's a nice, very nice upgrade that we have here. You have the pins on the back here for the Magic Keyboard. The size here, again, as I mentioned, is a 12.9. It's a very large tablet, also rectangular, although leaning more towards kind of a squarish side when compared to the Galaxy Tab S7 Plus, and definitely cannot be handled with one hand, although I could kind of do it a little bit here. Oh, by the way, at the end of the video, that's where I'm going to give you my take in terms of performance and design, because as I mentioned, you're probably going to like what you like and I'm going to like what I like. Anyway, let's go ahead and jump into the next category here, which is the spec. The Galaxy Tab S7 Plus is pushing a Snapdragon 865 Plus, and that right there is coupled with 6 gigs of RAM. And I have to say that the chipset is very powerful, and the tablet itself is built to be a productivity machine, as my main man Travis MCP would say. Make sure to check him out. I'll put the link in the description there for you. Now, I'm currently running Android 11 on here with One UI 3.1 sitting on top of that, and I can tell you that Samsung is truly working wonders with that combo. Performance is just excellent. Light, medium, heavy tasks are handled here without any stuttering, no crashing like ever. It's very zippy. It flies through tasks with no issues whatsoever. The iPad Pro, on the other hand, is loaded with Apple's newest and greatest, the M1 chipset. That is the king of all chips, if we could say that. And it's also loaded with iPadOS 14.5 is the version that I'm running on this guy here. And processing power is the best you can get on any tablet. This particular unit here is loaded with 8 gigs of RAM, which is actually more than we've seen from Apple in the past. And I know that this is going to sound redundant, but it just flies through all tasks, you know, light, medium, heavy tasks, just like the Tab S7 here, except it's faster. However, You won't notice that on your day-to-day tasks, right? But you will notice on graphic intensive tasks or projects, because GPU performance is out of this world on the iPad Pro here. The 8-core CPU and 8-core GPU really powered through heavy tasks like it's nothing. However, you should not make a decision between these two based solely off of that last point that I made, right? Let's just cover some more before you can actually make a decision on which one to go for. And by the way, if this is your first time visiting the channel, and I'm hoping you're liking the content so far, and if you do, I truly appreciate that. Now, please do me a huge favor. Hit both the like and the subscribe button there. It's a tremendous boost to this channel, and it really helps me signal to YouTube that I'm actually helping people with these videos. Anyway, more specs here. The Galaxy Tab S7 Plus is loaded with a Super AMOLED display, which is a premium screen, right? And the resolution here is 1752 by 2800, along with support for a high refresh rate at up to 120 Hertz. You get that fantastic level of contrast AMOLED displays are very well known for, specifically when it comes to blacks and reds, and image quality is simply top-notch. The iPad Pro, however, is packing that Liquid Retina XDR, which is pretty much a display powered by 10,000 mini LEDs. And it also does push an excellent contrast ratio level. The resolution here is 2332 by 2048, and this guy here can get up to 1600 nits on HDR content. Again, here the blacks and the reds are also pretty well pronounced and actually get pretty close to what you would get on an OLED display. It also supports Apple's ProMotion technology, so you have a refresh rate that can go up to 120 Hertz. Now let's go ahead and talk accessibility or usability in terms of using the power that is offered by these two tablets, right? Let's talk practical usage of the power that is being offered by each one of these. The M1 iPad Pro essentially offers you the same chipset found on a MacBook computer, but it is unfortunately limited by software or the iPad OS platform, simply meaning you won't be able to squeeze as much from that M1 chip on this device as you would, let's say, if you were using a MacBook. Now, a good thing to add here is on that same platform, iPad OS, you have tons of professional apps, when compared to what you would have on the Android platform. And those professional apps will actually attempt to make use of some of the power that is packed in here. And by the way, a few of those professional apps are either not available on the Android platform or simply not as optimized on the Android platform as they are on the iPad OS platform here. That being said, only a tiny segment of the population can actually tap into the M1 chip power found on the iPad Pro while using those professional apps. For the average folks out there, this tablet will offer you a pretty decent level of multitasking ability. And the reason I'm saying a pretty decent level is because you can pretty much get the same level of multitasking ability if you were using an iPad, a budget iPad, so just a regular iPad 8. It will also offer great movie watching performance along with fantastic gaming performance. Now, I want to pick up off of those last points that I just highlighted there. The Galaxy Tab S7 Plus, on the other hand, offers a multitasking experience that is simply unmatched by the iPad Pro Mini LED. It's as if Samsung has a personal vendetta against not multitasking, right? Samsung offers features that will enable aggressive multitasking on their tablet here. You get a very high level of flexibility when it comes to, multitasking, something that iPad OS doesn't come close to. One UI is just way ahead with it, and you can be as aggressive as you want with multitasking using Samsung DeX. Now, movie watching experience on the Tab S7 Plus here is out of this world. I'll tell you, this Super AMOLED display offers next level entertainment experience. Now, it won't get as bright as the mini LED here, but by gosh, image quality here is crisp. Each one of these has support for a stylus, of course. The iPad Pro has support for the Apple Pencil 2nd generation, which, by the way, needs to be purchased separately. It is an improved stylus that is optimized to work pretty well with this iPad Pro here. It boasts that same 9 millisecond latency as the Samsung S Pen. So across from it here, you have the Galaxy Tab S7 Plus, which supports the most modern S Pen here, which in this case is offered along with the tablet when you purchase one. It definitely has more features than the Apple Pencil 2nd Gen. It feels a little bit more natural to the hand. It offers great pressure sensitivity levels along with feedback that is not matched by the Apple Pencil 2nd Gen. I actually made a video on the Apple Pencil 2 here versus the Samsung most modern S Pen. So if you want to find out a little bit more about it, make sure to check out that video for more. Now we do have additional features here for both tablets. So the iPad Pro Mini LED will have Face ID, as I mentioned earlier, quad speaker setup, and all the other stuff that I listed. The Galaxy Tab S7 Plus will also have a face unlock, except it's not as good as Face ID. Additionally, you will get an ultrasonic fingerprint scanner that the iPad Pro does not have, and a few more things that I've listed already. The iPad Pro Mini LED here has a pretty decent battery. Apple advertises 10 hours of video playtime, and of course it's going to be subjective, right? Depending on how you use it, you may make it there, you may not. The Tab S7 Plus, on the other hand, is advertised to have up to 14 hours video playtime by Samsung. I've never gotten really to that point, but I've come pretty close, and I can tell you that, you know, testing and comparing both, the battery on here would definitely last you. It would definitely outlast the battery on the iPad Pro Mini LED here. The Tab S7 Plus has a 13 megapixel wide, a 5 megapixel ultra wide angle for the main camera, and an 8 megapixel for the selfie one. Picture quality is definitely pretty nice on here. The iPad Pro Mini LED actually has something new this year with that front camera, and that is the True Depth camera system with ultra wide. It tracks your movements and adjusts the camera to keep you within the shot. It's a truly awesome feature. The Galaxy Tab S7 Plus does not have that. On the back, of course, you still have the 12 megapixel wide and 10 megapixel ultra wide sensor along with Apple's LiDAR scanner. Now, here's my take, more of a summary, right? So when it comes down to design, you are definitely just gonna like what you like. So no one can really say you're liking the wrong thing. I personally prefer the Tab S7 pretty sleek look here. It just looks a little bit more premium. Don't get me wrong, this is a premium tablet also, but then again, it comes down to preference here when we're talking design. As far as power goes, no doubt at all, the iPad Pro Mini LED is way ahead, except, you know, besides the fact that it won't be noticeable on a day-to-day task. When it comes to benchmark and you're comparing both, this guy is way ahead. With that said, not many people will be able to use it because of the limitation that I highlighted earlier. Now, if you are a visual arts professional or just someone who uses those professional apps available in the iPad platform, then you should definitely go for this guy here. Or if you just like the iPad Pro Mini LED and you just feel like buying it just because, then go ahead and grab this one. However, I still think that the Tab S7 Plus here offers most people the best bang for your buck, because it's kind of like a middle ground between power offered by the tablet versus power used by the user, along with a multitude of features that you will actually be enjoying even when completing simple day-to-day tasks. But anyway, that was just my take here, and I hope that this was informative. Please don't forget to comment. I want to hear what you have to say about this. So I'm going to catch you in the comment section. I'm also going to catch you in the next video. Make sure to share this video if you know anyone who will be interested in watching this or who was on the verge of buying either one of these tablets. They may be interested in watching this. Make sure also to check out my other videos. I hope you subscribe by now. If you're not, make sure to hit that subscribe button and also the notification bell. Wow, this is a long video. I'm going to catch you in the comment section, and I'm also going to catch you in the next video. Up until then, as always, of course, stay safe out there.